what are the chances that you are able to stay awake after only 4 hours of sleep till 5 in the morning? Well, I don't think it was possible, not when I've had 4 hours of sleep, but it was. And why was it possible? Because I was dealing with some very interesting material, and on top of that, I also had some very interesting conversations. So let's get back to today. I'm doing this 4-day course at the moment. It's on US time, and I'm in Europe, so that means that I start about 7 o'clock in the evening, if I'm correct, and I finished about 2 at night. But the reason why I do it is because I know there are people out there who have certain experience I won't learn from teachers in the Netherlands. But there's also something else, because it didn't stop there, because there's still a bridge between 2 and 5, and it was because I told people I would like to go over the material and prepare for the next day, because I believe that's very valuable. And well, I was in luck. There were people who were willing to go over the homework with me. I initially said I'm only going to do it for like 90 minutes tops, and it ended up being a lot longer. And the funny thing is that the people who are actually on US time are going to sleep right now too. But it was being around peers and people who were going through their story or over their story, which really resonated with me. So, and of course, it was not just about the topics which we were talking about. There was some other thing. I got to do what I do best, which is coach people to get through their story, ask the specific questions, point out their blind spots, and yeah, I do have them too, and go into it. And also, both of us have Western cultures, like in the Netherlands and in the US, but still there's a big difference between how things are being dealt with in the US versus the Netherlands. Then again, we all run into the same problems. And, so it's really interesting, how do people deal with it? And it's nice to be able to give people a different perspective of things, just because of what's possible here and what might not be possible over there. And then when I go to the next step, it's amazing about what people want to talk about and know how it works, but they haven't done it themselves. And by the way, that also includes me. So, I am a firm believer that in order to do stuff, we actually need to do it. And sometimes we need to build the courage first in order to really get it done. And how do we build courage? By reading about it, by studying it, by telling about it, until someone gives us a kick and says, and now you're going to do it. So the good thing is, there's a guy, he's called Evan Carmichael, and he has this group every 2 weeks. We go live for 90 minutes. He's teaching us, and it's you can always ask questions and you'll get into it. And he's been teaching us over and over and over again. Make sure you make your 10+ minute video. Be sure that you have your structure, that you point out what's going to do, and then somewhere in the middle tell your story. And since I've also been listening to a lot of podcasts from Brendon Burchard, where he used to be, it was just recently, where he has interviewed Evan Carmichael. I actually have this book from Evan Carmichael right in front of me, and this is not about promoting Evan Carmichael. because I was going to talk about why I stayed awake. And the reason why I stayed awake is because I'm so completely pumped and energized, and to be able to bring it all together, that really, it's challenging, and at the same time it's fun. So I'm actually surprised, because like an hour ago I was like, okay, I'm getting this splitting headache because I haven't slept enough and I really need to go to sleep. But now that I'm explaining this to you and I'm talking to you, I'm actually getting all energized again. And that's what actually this topic was about. How is it possible, or would it be possible, to stay awake with only 4 hours of sleep until it's 5 in the morning? And the answer was yes, and the answer is still yes. And you can actually see what's happening. So by dealing with a topic which I find very interesting and meaningful, that's what's keeping me going. And then also interacting with the other people is what kept me going. Being able to do what I love to do and I'm good at, as in coaching other people, kept me going too. But also learning from other people, and now actually sharing it with you. And there's one other thing that I didn't list. I sort of said it, which is about, taking that one specific step that is going to make a difference. Well, Brendon Burchard, at the end of the year, he said it's very important to finish the year strong, and it had to do with consistency. So he asked, which projects do you want to finish? Well, one is about my book, and the other one has to do with what I wanted to do was a virtual Christmas trip. I actually did the virtual Christmas trip, and right now we are in January, and I want to keep that consistency going. So it's really important for me to stay in that vibe. And I have to say it's challenging. It's really challenging because things happen, and especially when there are a lot of courses, I get off track, I get derailed. And well, last week we had Tony Robbins with his New World, New You challenge. I understand that it actually was going on today still. But yesterday, Ted McGrath started his course, which lasted the entire day. Even more so, I think it lasted till, last night till 6 in the morning, which was the reason why I only had 4 hours of sleep, because I got the first call at 9:30, and then people just kept on calling. I don't know why they did, but they did. And I really had to answer those phone calls because they were important phone calls for my clients, but because I still have clients I'm helping out, and those are people who, I'm going off topic. I realize I am going off topic, but those are people who I make a difference for in their life. So that's and knowing that I can be the one who is going to make a world of difference by getting things done, because I'm a person who has learned to speak up, and what I do nowadays is speak up for them. And what I'm actually doing right now is teaching other people to speak up. So that's my main topic. And by attending this training from Brendon Burchard, he actually, people, a few weeks ago, when listening actually to Roy Martina, he said something I realized as well, and he said, you need to talk about what your journey has been ever since you got stuck. And I got physically stuck, as in I got an injury. So basically I'm disabled. I don't like to see myself as disabled, but I'm still, getting back out there again. And so this is about how the road to recovery is, and that that you're able to get back on your 2 feet again, literally. And having said so, it's also about that journey, how I got there. So I realized, listening to him and then listening to Tony and again listening to Ted McGrath, that my goal here, or what I want to do, my passion is about teaching other people to learn how to speak up. Because it's nice that I'm speaking up for other people, but it would be far more, if I can teach other people how to learn to speak up, it won't only impact them, it will impact their surroundings as well. So I'm talking about their spouses, about their family, their children, about their employees, about their friends. And I want to make a difference in this world. If there's something I want to do, it's about making a difference in this world. And I guess that by attending that course, and that's the one thing that Ted McGrath has that others don't. He knows about how to get a story across. So each of those people I've been talking about, and yes, I've been talking about a lot of people, they have their own expertise in their own area. Like Brandon, for instance, he's great when it comes to marketing. He's done it all himself, and he's also great when it comes to personal development. When I talk about Evan Carmichael, he's great when it comes to YouTube. And when I talk about Roy Martina, he is not only very good at being a motivational coach, but he's also very good at tapping, actually, in combination with mindset. So I've learned heaps of him over the years when it comes to what meditation can do for you, what tapping can do for you, and what you need to do in order to work with a mind which is going to be bound to form like an obstacle. So it's going to be in your route. And why? Because we might say we're going to do this, but subconsciously, and that's where the mindset sets in, we have learned that the safer way is not to do it. So we might tend to do it, but we might come up with all these sorts of excuses not to do it. And I guess that's why today was very interesting, because I can easily just, I can just say, this is here and this is there, and why didn't you this, and why didn't you follow from there on that one. So one of the people in the group, this was kind of funny, I think I at least 4 or 5 times I said to him, okay, get back here because we're not done with your story yet. So they didn't realize it, or maybe they did, and I could have spoken up about it, by the way. But although I told part of my story, the goal was not only to tell the story, but it was also to go through the steps. And the steps had to do with what are we going to teach people. And I never told them my steps. Fortunately for me, they were spoken about by the coaches from Ted McGrath in the course, which was awesome. And so I know I'm on the right track, and that's also why I'm really pumped, because I sometimes you need to hear things again and again and again, and do them again and again and again, and then you get better at it. And that's why I'm actually pretty happy listening to podcasts nowadays, because it gets repeated again and again and again and again. And at some point it will sink in, even if only because you're getting so bored of it that you can dream it. But then it sinks in into the subconscious layer and it becomes normal. So I really didn't think I was going to record a video at, what is it, 5:30 in the morning. I didn't. But then again, when it came to consistency at the end of the year, doing my virtual Christmas trip, I did do those recordings at 4 or 5 in the morning, even when I was really tired, because I knew that if I wouldn't do it, that I just wouldn't do it. You know, it wouldn't get out there. And knowing myself and knowing how easily I can skip things, I know how important it is to say, okay, I have got this bit of energy left, let's do it. So here I am, talking to you about it, talking about how it's possible to maintain that energy even with 4 hours of sleep if you are motivated enough, and if it's about the right topics, and also if it's going to give you something in the future. And in this case, it's give me the ability or the possibility to get out there, to basically exercise by practice, you know, going on video. But it's also about, you know, I'm still pumped. It was cool what happened today, and it was nice to be surrounded by other people who wanted to get there too. We want to be part of that 2%. And, you know, being able to share that with you, and also knowing that it's actually become pretty normal, and I didn't realize it till just now, how easily it becomes and how quickly that energy can rise again. And, you know, one of the people said to me, you need to use lighting. So it's there, and it's actually on my Tumblr. So I turned it on and it was there. So I'm actually prepped and ready to go. Normally I would use a different phone instead of my iPad, and I would use my ear, well, they're not really earpods, or they're just not AirPods. But yeah, I'm there and I'm doing it and I'm recording it, and, you know, I'm having fun with it. And that's what this is all about. It's about doing it over and over again. And once you've conditioned yourself, then you'll notice that the energy gets going. And, you know, when I first started recording those videos, I guess I would be like sleepy, and, you know, it would be difficult to really get up to speed. And I'm still not talking really, really fast. You know, there are people who just go on da, 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 da. But I can say I'm having that enthusiasm. I don't even have to generate that enthusiasm because I already have it, and I just wanted to share and get it out there, because I think it's worthwhile to find that key to, okay, what can you do when you only have had little sleep and you want to keep on going. So what motivates you to keep on going? Well, I told you I had a great group, great training day, and again, it's also about wanting to achieve something really badly. And that's why I'm also in front of the camera, because, yeah, I just love to share my message. Anyway, there's more to come. So go watch the next video whenever it's out there. Sign up, you know, whatever you need to do, like the video. And before I forget, if you want to be coached yourself, then find me, hit me up, and you can get a free coaching session. And tomorrow will be another day about speaking up.